Anything that you create is a part of you, an extension of your soul. It could be anything from a song, a drawing, or even an outfit that you throw together before rushing out the door in the morning. Whether it's a character that you wrote, a picture that you took, or a ship that you built, it's all the same. Creativity manifests itself in many ways, but the end result is always something that is rooted in self-expression. I would argue that it's one of the most vulnerable ways that a person can express themselves. To put something that you made out into the world is an experience not far off from literally baring your heart for all to see. Something that you create can only exist because of your unique perspective on what is interesting. Only you can decide what you make, and only you can know its true intention. While there will certainly be people who see your visions for what they are, there will inevitably be those who don't. Some will misinterpret and twist them into something else. Some people will completely reject your creations altogether. Depending on what it is that you create, they can actually be manipulated in a way that harms others. Franky's backstory presents a dilemma involving each one of those possibilities, and furthermore poses the question, are all of these potential negative outcomes and reactions a reason to not create at all? Franky's mentor, Tom, and eventually Franky too, reject that notion entirely. Tom is a man who was first introduced while putting together a ship in an overly flashy manner. He throws it into the air and attaches all of its masts before it even touches the water. In other words, he does it with a dawn. Throw out your chest with a dawn, says Tom. A dawn is just the word for this sound, but it's sometimes translated as bang or gusto. What exactly does that mean though? Simply put, to do something with a dawn is to do it loud and proud. Tom follows this ideology like a North Star. He would rather die than to have Franky go in a different direction. Despite the criminal reputation that Roger inevitably gets, Tom is still proud of the ship he built for him. He knows it was a good ship that did not have a shred of evil to its name. He doesn't care if he gets executed for it. He refuses to deny that it was his creation. It's understandable why somebody like Iceberg would be wary of this mindset. He was right about Franky's battleships being dangerous. He was right about them one day being used to hurt others. Tom doesn't suggest that you should be okay with something like that happening. He simply won't stand in the way of someone's ideas. It doesn't matter if that idea is risky or unpredictable. What matters is your intent and commitment to bringing that idea to life. What happens after it's released into the world is still your responsibility, and you must suffer any potential consequences. However, you should never deny that it was something you believed in, something you loved, and something you were once proud of. That was the final lesson that he left his apprentice with. When we first meet Franky, apart from being antagonistic, he is a character that is unabashedly himself. He very often behaves in a bizarre and sometimes obnoxious way. This isn't shown to us through rose-colored glasses. There are lots of characters that are frequently put off by his personality and stylistic choices. Regardless, he carries himself with a dawn. A great example of this is the scene when he stands naked in front of a crowd and does his signature pose despite the horror of all of the bystanders. In the manga, that scene is displayed next to an original proverb that reads, "A man is naked his entire life. May he be like a lion and stand against the crashing waves." Another example is Robin and Nami's reaction to his post-time skip appearance. Much like the majority of the fanbase, they see it as a downgrade. Now, I still prefer the pre-time skip design as much as the next person, but there's something really poetic about his new look being so unappealing yet downright unapologetic. When Franky gets run over by the sea train in a desperate attempt to save Tom, his body is horribly disfigured and he must turn himself into a cyborg. On the same day that he's forced to reckon with his own inventions, he himself becomes one, and thus he is simultaneously forced to reckon with himself. He literally becomes a medium for his craftsmanship and imagination to shine. He goes on to develop his own version of his mentor's beliefs. He doesn't puff out his chest with a dawn, but instead he sticks his arms in the sky and yells out, Through every new invention he builds and every modification to his body that he makes, he does it in a style that is 100% super. Have pride in everything that you are, and in addition, everything that you create. If you make something and you're proud of it, then you should own it through any and all adversity. To reject your own creation is to reject yourself. You are the only one that you can count on to give your creativity the love that it deserves. So make sure that you do so unconditionally with your head held high. That is what Franky's character is all about. That is what makes him special. That is what it means to be super.